Let's start, sir.
A warm good evening to one and all. On behalf of organizing committee, I, Dr. Venkat Suresh Jilakara, welcoming you to the fourth day of this one-week international FDP SDP 2020. So today our speaker is Sirisha from UK. So now I would like to request our coordinator, Anima Madam, will introduce today's speaker, Sirisha ma'am.
Good afternoon, madam. Good afternoon, sirs. I take immense pleasure to introduce today's guest, an eminent person, Sirisha Pingali Garu. She is from Swindon, UK. She completed her master's degree in Andhra University and awarded gold medal for securing highest percentage. And she is an innovative client-driven scientific officer with over experience of 6 years in various pharmaceutical and clinical fields. Currently, she is working as a scientific officer in Thermo Fisher Scientific in Swindon, UK, and she is highly skilled in LIMS use, GC, HPLC, and most analytical methods. Thank you, madam. Now you can give your presentation.
Thank you very much. This is Sirisha Pingali, working as scientific officer in Thermo Fisher Scientific UK. Thank you, Bapatla College of Pharmacy, for giving this opportunity to let people know about the pharmaceutical research in UK and EU. This presentation gives you an overview of what happens, what is the current trend of research in UK and also some parts of EU, because EU is like a union of so many European countries, and each countries has their own rules and regulations on how we can apply through and do the pharmaceutical research in there. This presentation also takes you through the basic oversight of the industries and the governing bodies of both in UK and EU and the Brexit changes what we have got. And so I think it's time for us to start. Is my screen visible?
No, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, that's all. Sorry for the trouble, just give me a quick sec. Yes, now I got it.
Fine.
Is it now okay?
Yes.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, okay, thanks. So let's start with the UK market in first. So the leading industries in UK are majorly the pharmaceutical industries, followed by computer programming and the IT service engineering and other business activities like technical engineering and analytical part. And the sector reached its peaks in its share of overall UK business expenditure on R&D in 2010 with a share of 29% of the total business expenditure on R&D especially pharmaceutical R&D is a leading sector in UK's whole business expenditures and stuff. So the next largest spending sectors are the motor and motor vehicles and parts and computer programming and information services. So in the globe, the highest contributor for R&D departments, especially the health and R&D, followed by UK, which is roughly 1/10 of its US expenditure. So to govern every
Sorry for the interruption. It's a technical error. Trying to resume quickly.
Is it okay now?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Oh,
Slides are not visible.
yes.
You share the
Can
slides.
I continue? Yeah. Is that better now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Sorry
So
for
we
the
have
inconvenience.
it's fine, no problem. So we have a governing body called Association of British Pharmaceutical Industry, which majorly focuses on to make UK the best place in the world for the research, development, and usage of the new medications. So ABPI leadership team is it works at 3 different locations in the entire United Kingdom. One is in the Northern Ireland, one is in the Scotland, and one is in Wales, apart from the one actually in the England. So they are mainly associated with building a thriving environment for medicines so discovery, so that the UK will be the best place in the world to reach research, to reach a place where they can do a lot of immense research and develop new medicines and the vaccines. And they also strive to improve access to new medicines and vaccines so everyone in UK can get the latest standards that they set and the society expect from us. So in most of these conditions, like a major thriving force, and so the main aim of this ABPI is to make sure we are delivering the medication to each and every household in UK. So is it okay now? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So the ABPI works in a way that the medicines, whatever the latest developments, can reach to each and every household of a UK house, including the care homes and the other vulnerable homes. Main thing what we have in here, the UK government, is that the operating force or the operating governing body where ABPI works with NHS, which is a National Health Service. It is a government body living in UK. So this does not actually applies to Scotland and Wales because they have their own governing rules on delivering or offering the healthcare to the people. Parts, which is Northern Ireland and Scotland and Greater England and or Great Britain, what we call generally. So ABPI mainly works with NHS, where they kind of deliver ambitious and any new projects that can improve the patient outcomes, create efficiencies, and offer better healthcare. And they also wants to reduce the health inequalities for the people who are living across UK. So they also create an innovation-ready NHS whatever the innovations that are being made through ABPI, they want to introduce mainly with NHS so that people can embrace new approaches to prevention of the diseases and the treatment of any diseases. So they want to make best use of the data what the NHS people collect over the period to enhance their research capability and generate real world evidence and allow the value of innovation to be more fully understood. So the government offers help to the ABPI in the form of NHS. As a part of this, many of the current, for example, current crisis in the form of COVID-19 and rare diseases, viral, oncological studies are being assessed, and the new packs are being made based on the counties. For example, we have a latest one is the Manchester treatment pact, and the other one is uh, Birmingham market. So whatever the latest innovations we find through ABPI in the form of research, they are being delivered to the people in the form of NHS so that every person can get access to it. And the similar way, we also have the clinical trials, which they want to test on the human population. And this data is really on a real world example. We can give the data from the NHS people. So we have a governing body in UK which is called MHRA, and uh, it's an acronym for Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agencies. So it is a marketing authorization for every medicine. So MHRA has set a certain guidelines based on which every pharmaceutical company or any manufacturing company should operate. So in order to ensure that these guidelines are being met, especially when we are dealing with life industries like pharmaceuticals or vaccines or anything. So they wanted to ensure that these guidelines are met, and they conduct frequent audits. In these audits, they tend to get a clear overview on the operation of the whole particular site or anything, and whatever the reports they make in the audits, they kind of expect them to deal with any major or the minor errors or anything that being reported. So the marketing authorization governs not only what medicine is for and how it should be used, but also details the formulations, storage requirements, the shelf life, so that the medicine that reaches to the patient is exactly in the way it is supposed to or intend to. And this mainly focuses on delivering the high quality product from the right from the site or the pharmaceutical industry to the a person's household. So in order to ensure this, we perform most of the time when we manufacture any finished products or any raw materials, we ensure that they are meeting the quality aspects according to a QC lab. And if it is a finished products or in the form of suspensions or injectables, so what we do is regular stability testing on the products at different time points and different temperature regions, so that this current product is suitable for a person wherever he lives across the world. So MHRA also issues us manufacturing authorizations which entitle a company to be, for example, we have companies which are called the contract manufacturing operated units, like how we have contract research organizations where they exclusively perform the clinical trials for a given compound. So similar to that, we have contract manufacturing organization, which follows a set of manufacturing guidelines according to MHRA, and this is exclusively for UK. Companies need to demonstrate that these comply with the good manufacturing practice, just like how we have back home. So it's the only connecting element across the world for any pharmaceutical industry. The only one which we can see now at the moment is the good manufacturing practice. So if we have a good manufacturing practice at one point, like as a basic experience, then entry into the subsequent jobs at different places is relatively easy, because you have already been through what all the aspects a GMP covers. So the companies also need to demonstrate that they comply with the good manufacturing practice, which is a very critical element, and pass regular inspections on the manufacturing side. So this might be in the form of inspectors who comes as a MHRA, or this is also possible as inspectors who are coming from FDA. So mostly, if my product, for example, if my company is producing any products that are to be distributed across the European market, we have to meet the MHRA guidelines, and we also need to mostly follow European pharmacopoeia testing, so that we are strictly adhering to the limits what the EP says. And the current version at the moment is 10.2 version of European pharmacopoeia, which we have to adhere as a part of CMO guidelines. And if we are intending our product to sell through a US market, so we have a US governing body, which is FDA. So our product should meet the FDA guidelines, and we have to mostly follow the United States Pharmacopoeia to meet the requirements satisfying their governing rules and regulations. So what are the top 5 R&D hubs in UK? So UK, as it is a hub for lots of pharmaceutical researchers which are ongoing. And there are certain locations, because the world's eminent universities are mostly one of the world's eminent universities they reside in UK, and still people are really willing to join these universities owing to their past success stories. So in UK, we have 5 different R&D hubs. As I said, the whole United Kingdom is split into Greater England or Great Britain, and Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and actual England. So we have a hub, R&D hub in each of these locations. One is in the actual England region, one is in the Scotland, one is in the Northern Ireland, one is in the Wales. And recently they have also started with northern powerhouse where we have covering the north side of northern England mainly. So
Sirisha ma'am,
yeah,
can you please forward the video to your patient, please? Is in the center.
okay, let me see. Sorry, I just minimized that window.
Some more, please.
Uh,
The forehead.
is it okay now, sir?
Yes,
Or
please.
is it better now?
Oh, it is gone back again. Gone back. Hello. Hello.
Okay, is that better, sir? Okay.
Sorry for the income.
No problem. So we have a golden triangle, which is mostly in the England part, so which comprises of Oxford, Cambridge, and London. So Oxford's Biotrans program, Cambridge's Biomedical Campus, and London's MedCity and Stevenage Bioscience Catalyst are considered as a major centers in the Golden Triangle, out of which the Stevenage Bioscience Catalyst is the UK's first open innovation campus created to bring academia and like academic professionals, biotech and pharmaceutical companies together to advance healthcare research to perform advanced research on the healthcare industry more effectively. Um, after having a major success from mostly these Oxford, Cambridge, and London, these are mostly towards the southern side of United Kingdom. So then they have come up with a new concept of northern powerhouse comprising of northern part of England mostly. So attempts were made to reduce the economic gap between the north and the south of England. In this process, a person called George Osborne, the then member of parliament, proposed a new powerhouse similar to Golden Triangle in the south. There are at least 45,000 people working on this and in different life science and healthcare associated industries across this region. And this mostly covers the northeast, northwest, and Yorkshire regions of England. And global companies like Allergan, AstraZeneca, Bristol Myers Squibb, or BMS, short, Eli Lilly, GlaxoSmithKline, MSD, Recipharm, and Shire. They serve as the major industries and the key contributing industries based on this area. And then we have Scotland, which is like a separate country in when you consider United Kingdom. And for the capital city is the Edinburgh, where we have BioQuarter which is a leading European destination for translational medical research. The site is home to institutions and companies, including Queen's Medical Research Institute. So where mostly the biomedical science researchers takes place in Scotland, and it's also a good hub for oil and minerals industries. And then we have back south in Wales, which is mostly based in Cardiff Bay. It brings together Wales life sciences ecosystem and honors the Welsh government's commitment to establishing the country as one of the foremost environment in the world for delivering at least £1 billion value of industrial revenues, and this is aimed to achieve by 2022. So members of this hub include mostly technologies that are being served by GE Healthcare, Johnson & Johnson Innovations, Novartis, and MSD. Back moving north, we are we have a particular technical hub which is residing in Northern Ireland, And Northern Ireland has at least 150 native firms in the life science spaces, employing at least 7,500, and they have a good exporting business with a revenue of over £1 billion. Moving on, we have the pharmaceutical research, the main top companies in UK where the pharmaceutical research is immensely carried out. And this is a statistical data which was collected back in March 2018. And this list is, I mean, these companies are still holding the same positions here. So first being occupied by Pfizer, followed by Novartis, GlaxoSmithKline, Merck & Co., Bayer, Roche, AbbVie, Johnson & Johnson, Sanofi, Gilead Sciences, AstraZeneca, BMS, and BI, and Biogen. Uh, these are companies which have had a good roots in UK, and where when UK was still a part of European Union, and after Brexit, so there is, I mean, there will be. So the Brexit is official to be from 31st of December 2020. At the moment, the same research or same companies with the same revenues and the same export business is being carried out on both UK and the EU side. So after maybe in 2021, these things would change, and at least we will get there will be some sort of imbalance to the current practices, which will be, I think, is already being dealt by both from UK side and EU side. Moving on, as an immigrant, for example, if I'm staying somewhere other than UK, and if I want to carry on or pursue my career in UK under pharmaceutical research, how do I get that? So the main thing is to apply initially through a student visa, where we can get a tier 4 or tier 5 based on the government guidelines, and then opting for a degree or from the recognized university or any degree provider. As you study, the students have a lot of opportunities to see through the market or the industrial market compared to other education systems. For example, if in UK, I have finished my +2, which is similar to our intermediate or +2 in India, and then at that education level, it's very difficult to enter any industries in India. But here, people would encourage any person to enter industry in the form of apprenticeships or the year intern programs and the projects. So mostly they consider here the skill set of or the level of intellectuality you are showcasing through the entrance, because they think that the bookish knowledge is not exactly what we require when we operate on an industrial scale. So in UK, entering into a professional field is relatively easy, provided you have a good visa status or any particular sponsorship, and or if you are a true citizen, or if you are willing to pay some amount that converts into a citizen, like that leads to a standard citizenship. In that case, we can start from the apprenticeship, where the company provides you a program where you can join and work for the company, get to know the ins and outs of the business, and see if you are happy, or if you want to have a real-time example on how we are manufacturing a particular tablets or capsules or whatever the formulation is. And then while they do that, because they are offering some services in the form of working in the labs or preparing records or whatever it is, the government would offer them some amount as an apprenticeship fees. So they would just, if I get enrolled as an apprenticeship, that's a very good opportunity for me, because I get to know the rules of the industry before I could finish my course. and I'll be being paid at least some amount which covers some bits and portions of my livelihood. And then I also gain a university degree by the time I finish everything. So it's like even in a 4-year internship, I'll have a good insight over the pharmaceutical research, and also I'll be in the payment list where I can meet my standards or the basic payment standards. So after we graduate with a proper degree, or in the life sciences, be it chemistry or pharmaceutical sciences or any other biological sciences, the first position a company would offer is an analytical bench chemist, where we perform basic testing, identifying the molecules, or the simple ways like using all the small tests that are recorded in the company specifications or the standard operating procedures. After certain experience, having certain experience as a bench chemist, people are usually promoted to an analytical chemist, where you are dealing with actual analytical testing, followed by a senior analytical scientist or the scientific officer or the team lead, where you'll be heading to a small group or many scientists. It depends on the size of your industry. And then followed by a supervisor, where you can continue in the quality control department, or you can actually migrate to the formulation R&D department. And another source where people tend to enter through pharmaceutical research is by opting a PhD degree after your university degree, majorly through the top 5 hubs, which we have discussed in the earlier slides. And another one is the government-sponsored research programs, where you have to clear certain eligibility in the form of English proficiency and good credits in your GCSE or the A levels, what we call in back home as plus 10th grade and plus 2 marks, and also a good experience of working in a pharmaceutical industry, so that you know what you are supposed to do and what we are doing, and a good experience in the other analytical instruments, preferably higher instruments like HPLC, GC, because research is usually focuses on very advanced isolation techniques and molecular techniques. Moving on, we have this till here. We covered mostly United Kingdom part, where we deal with the marketing strategies or the pharmaceutical research and the guidelines and the MHRA guidelines exclusive for Northern Ireland, Greater England, and Scotland, and Wales. So moving on, we have the other parts which are governed by EU currently, and it is these operate by a set of guidelines that are set up by European Medicine Agency, which is EMA, and so they have a different motto of performing or conducting or maintaining the pharmaceutical research across EU. So the first thing would be the facilitate development and access to the medicines, where EMA is committed to enabling the timely patient access to new medicines. It plays a vital role in supporting medicine development for the benefit of the people. And then evaluate applications for marketing authorization, where EMA's scientific committee usually provide an independent recommendation on medicines for human and veterinary use based on the comprehensive scientific evaluation of the data. And just like how the MHRA operates with the data from NHS, the EMEA has a centralized governing body, which will be dealt in the coming slides. And they get the data from that particular governing body, and then they kind of monitor the safety of the medication across the whole drug cycle. And these underpin important decisions about medicines marketed in Europe, referred to EMA through referral procedures, and it also coordinates and conducts different inspections in connection with the assessment of marketing authorizations and applications or matters referred to its committees. And last one would be the provide information to the healthcare professionals and the patients. And the agency works in a way that it clearly publishes any information about the medicines and the approved use, and they are not supposed to conceal any of limitations for that product, especially when they are conducting any clinical trials, or when they want to launch the market and conduct the phase 4 clinical trials as well, under pharmacovigilance and pharmacokinetic programs. And they also, at this point, they also need to include the public assessments, reports and summaries written in the lay language. So this is one of the important consideration for EU countries, especially because they have a very main problem with the language, where they tend to speak in their own lay language or particular native language. And if I go to France and if I go to France and if I speak in English, nobody knows anything, no matter how educated they are, because most of the education, right from the school stage till the universities, they exclusively read through French or any other European language, and English is the last priority. So in EU, the major challenge would be perform the testing. For example, any foreign market that enters into EU, the main thing should be is to consider the lay language, because it's a very critical element for any product to reach to a common household. Moving on, we have Brexit and the changes which it led to the whole markets. So Brexit is, as many of you know, it's a Britain exit from the European Union. So it has resulted in certain changes, especially with regards to the immigration status and marketing authorities now, and certain guidelines of using the medications across EU. So first thing is the relocation of the European Medicines Agency, which is EMA. Previously, one of the key pharmaceutical industry market access challenges is that Brexit brings along with it is irrespective of whatever path it takes, it's related to EMA, because both countries needed EMA to enter the European market, like be it EU or be it UK drug market. So previously, the headquarters of EMA was located in London, but of late, the Netherlands had won a new bid to host new EMA headquarters after Brexit. So with the new EMA headquarters soon moving to Amsterdam, several changes may be implemented, and rules for the medicinal products that are developed and tested in the UK would be definitely changing. Later is the movement of people and pharma products. So pharma products form a considerable part of goods that are exported to and from UK. Any post-Brexit hurdles to the free movement of the goods could mean trouble for those supplies, potentially leading to temporary drug shortages. So this still happens, especially now. It's being happening in many of the industries where, for example, if a company is expecting any raw material from Europe, usually there is already a delay because they have to cross the borders and they have to meet all the regulatory considerations when we are moving to the borders, and they have to land in the destination country without any hindrance. So this is especially true in some cases of drugs such as insulin that are not manufactured in UK, and they usually come from European market. And however, it is not only the movement of the medicines that's at risk, as the possibility of stricter rules regarding the flow of people between EU and UK companies in the pharmaceutical industries are considered a bit concerned about the ability to attract a new talent force uh, outside Britain in the future. So it's vital that pharmaceutical companies still be able to access the best talent force outside and not only confining within their own regions. Say, for example, if I consider only Britain talent force, it's very difficult to lead the market because we also need the help of other immense potential in the form of other nations or the international candidates. Last is the change in UK's contribution to drug regulation. Now that because they have moved the EMA from London to Amsterdam, obviously the revenues will be hit. It will prove to be a challenging task to replace the MHRA's capacity and the expertise, particularly in the cases where timetable for reform is a bit aggressive. Just because earlier both of the governing bodies were working together hand in hand. Now, in order for our market from UK to reach the EU, it should strictly follow the reforms or the timetable norms as per the EU, and this would potentially delay the delivery of your right product to the other countries. To cope up with these challenges, EU market has come up with a very innovative concept called Horizon 2020. This is the latest. Program that was launched after public consultation by the EU government, and this is one of the best I have ever seen because they have considered the main hindrance for any project or for any drug research and development, and they have considered the key factor as funding, which is quite essential to any person working under a PhD or as a research candidate. So European Union's new program for research and innovation, it will provide a framework for European drug-related research in the future. It will address the research and innovation together with the aim of contributing to tackle the society changes, challenges, and maintain a sustainable economic growth. And this focus has the potential to promote cross-cutting coordination and coherence in funding for multidisciplinary topics such as drug-related research and drug-related releases and the trials. So in the public consultation held innovation, the hindrance factor, they identified it as funding. And this is another governing body, EMCDDA, which is a European Monitoring Center for Drugs and Drug Addiction. It has proposed the following guidelines for any program. So main focus was with respect to the funding that maximizes the benefit of acting at the EU level. And they also wanted to make the EU research and innovation funding more attractive and easy to access for the participants, because it should be at the end of the day, it should not be so critical that in order to reach that, it should not take me some years of time. So it should be mostly a user compatible version of handling the funding charges and stuff. And then improve the funding norms to cover the entire innovation cycle. This is a kind of critical, especially when your project is a long-term project, and maybe if you start now, you aim to finish maybe in 5 to 6 years. I expect my funding to be based on my results, because we timely present the reports to the governing body EMCDDA, and we'll show them, yes, I'm perfectly fine, I'm happy with the way the research is going, and I can assure that this research would be taking through the best best of the minds, and it still has a good impact in the public healthcare. In that case, obviously, I expect the government to support me throughout my innovation, and it should not be interrupted in between. And high priority is usually given for a researcher initiated project because we should encourage the talent first, and because that person is also responsible for raising a patent on his name because he has developed that's just giving credit to a person's idea, because if it is his idea, then more funding should be provided and more benefit you can gain from it. And mostly at this case, the companies go through the patenting projects because they want their projects to be more available for the critical diseases or many kinds of rare diseases. And identifying the indicators for monitoring the research, which is very key for any programs, because if I am a kind of interested in a research program, and I have identified the basic things that kind of lag my whole innovation cycle or the innovation program. I want to identify those key indicators which are causing me any delays or which are causing me any hindrances in, especially when with respect to uh, releases or performing the clinical trials or anything. So Horizon 2020 overall is completely focused on encouraging. It's quite encouraging, especially for the people who wants to pursue their career in research and really want to contribute something to the society. And in this way, even the European government are usually benefited because they get the best medicine outside, and the health or the healthcare industry or the disease market can never it always kind of swells in the market rather than, and redundancy is very quite less compared to any other industries. So that's why pharmaceutical industry till date is the highest earning field with respect to R&D. And major contributors in European markets are also some of the companies which are dealt in UK. But since we are still considering the fact that, yes, I'm happy because I'm still a part of EU. So the same markets can also be now find a good roots in the European markets. So this data is collected by considering that UK is still a part of EU because the official bifurcation happens after 31st of December 2020. Among this, interesting thing is that many people many people doesn't know much of these certain companies because we everywhere we hear mostly the top 10 pharmaceutical companies, which are like always ranking in the always being ranked according to FDA or MHRA, like Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Johnson and Johnson. But apparently in Europe we have Union Chimie a Belgium company which stands as the major biotechnological company and contributes to the richest revenue from European market, followed by Mylan, Allergan, Merck, Novo Nordisk, which is having mostly its roots in Denmark, and they have a very advanced innovation center and the research development center in Denmark, where they focuses on majorly with the advancements of the biomedical products. And then AstraZeneca, GlaxoSmithKline, Sanofi. Sanofi in France is the one of the richest revenue earning or revenue yielding company for European market. And Roche and Novartis are seated in Switzerland, and it still has a lot of these are all like crazy big companies which never fades away. The reputation never fades away because of the critical compounds they work on, mostly in the oncological studies. How do I get into pharmaceutical research in Europe? So it's very similar to what we have in UK, where we have general student visa, which I should get in first before so that I can enter that particular country. Unlike UK, EU has a different rules because it's like a congregation of many countries, and first I need to choose the place where I have to go and which university I have to opt the degree from, and I should be clear in the field which I have to opt. And UK still holds, because still UK is a part of Europe. When I want to study in Europe, the first position will always be UK, because it offers good advantages for overseas candidates, especially with the quality of education, age-old campuses, and the education system is kind of bit ancient. Like the way we deal with the techniques, the way we deal with any situations, and the techniques they use in is kind of when maybe Remington was using it, or when the old scientists were using it. And also we have similarities in the education system, where if I get out of any universities from India, like with a bachelor's degree, I really have a good knowledge compared to any other person. That's what I have observed working here till date, because at least the pronunciation, the grasping of the pharmaceutical drugs, or the knowing of the drug action, the way how Indians deal with it is very unusual, because we know many things, we are aware of many things, and we grasp things better and quicker compared to many other nationals. And so we just have the similarities in the education system, where especially, yes, I can compete with any English guy, or I can compete with any French girl. And also advantage of UK still is the English as a language. I know they have the British accent is very strong, but still English, as we know, we can read the boards, we can read the books. That's a very important thing, especially when we are opting for an education in that country. Followed by UK is the Germany and Norwegian countries, where the tuition free is in the public universities is free. And also these countries are pleasant countries, and they are very rarely disturbed by any calamities in the world, and be it like any attacks or any, it's like more public friendly countries. And they are also hub for manufacturing giants and industries. Next in line is Ireland and France, which are cheapest universities with world-class infrastructures, and they they attract most of the foreign population. But mostly the language is a kind of problem in these countries. Irish, so Ireland in as a whole has is differentiated into two. One is the Northern Ireland and one is the Southern Ireland. Northern Ireland is a part of is a part of United Kingdom. Southern Ireland comes under EU. So, but still, the top universities are there even in Ireland, which has, like, many of the companies, say for any software companies or any telecommunications companies, have still got their headquarters in Dublin. And then so it's a foreign population attracting hub in consider whatever industry is. Next thing is, how do I get into a university? Like what is the steps? What we need to follow is, some things are similar to UK as well, which is to find a proper university, choose accordingly your course or whatever your interested field is, and then admission requirement, which is unique to each country. And then finance arrangements, which depends on, for example, if you're opting any public university in Germany or Norway, you should be planning your finance arrangements for the other things like accommodation, yearly fee, or the college funding, something like that, and to access the libraries and to access the other basic things what you need to come out of a university. So those finances should be maintained, except for the tuition fee. And then you apply, and mostly at this point you will have the language as a consideration, because you have to prove the efficiency through through proficiency through lay languages, and many companies or many places
Sir, John sir,
Sir, yes, sir.
is there any connectivity issue, please?
Yeah, yes, sir. Network issue, no, sir. Yes.
However, this might be interchangeable according to the country to which you are applying for. And the first position, even in European market, would be your bench chemist, and then being promoted to analytical chemist and senior scientific officers and supervisor, and then find your way through the research and development, and then PhD through the mostly the Horizon 2020 grant, the grants from 2020. And PhD is also like mostly considered from well-reputed institutions, mostly towards the government institutions in Germany, and but they are not um, that that student friendly at the moment. Without language, it's very difficult to get in. I want to conclude this presentation.
But something madam's network is unstable.
Risha ma'am? Hello.
Sir, my side it is okay, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Risha ma'am? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Okay. So from 2021, we have point-based system in place for UK, where only skilled people are entered into the country, unlike the current circumstances where actual intellectuality or the actual interest of the matter is not being considered. And then separation as a result of Brexit is a challenging situation for both EU and equally to UK, because till date they are interdependable on each other. And because of this, there are good chances for international candidates to apply for both in UK and EU, because there are many new opportunities being arising. And major markets like Novartis, Roche, UCB, etc., were launching new methodologies for the drug development, so to get back their action in the European markets. So overall, I would say that things would change eventually with the new set of rules and regulations that the governing bodies would come up, be it MHRA in UK or be it EMA in EU. However, they are still the export and the import business would not be that much affected because we are dealing with live products like drugs, and the clinical trials on both the countries would should not be affected or anything, so that would be remaining unchanged. And the rest of the ones are major effect would be on the workforce, where now people might the international candidates might have equal opportunity both from Asia and Africa as well. So you can refer to one of these references sites. These are all government websites, and they have clear insights on what they are aiming to, and what their future plans are, what are the current trends going on, and the recent research programs and stuff. You can go through those websites. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and
Thank you, Sirisha ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your elaborate explanation.
Sir.
Few questions are there. So, is there any guidelines to establish a company there in UK? So, an Indian can enter, or any specific guidelines are there? Only the residents of UK or hello? Hello? Are you able to hear me? Sirisha ma'am? Hello?
That's something, it's a network issue from madam's side. Suresh, sir?
Yes, yes, please. Hello?
Hello, sir.
Ma'am. So many issues, networking issues are there.
Yeah, it's fine. Unfortunately, it's popping up more this day. Yeah.
It's quite a lot. Now the question is, what are the roles and responsibilities of a pharmacist at UK?
So in UK, it is bit different, sir, because in for example, back home when we see, if I go to a medical shop, I can actually ask that person, can you please help me with this? I have, for example, if I have fever, that person, whoever is giving the medication, essentially may not be a pharmacy graduate or any sort of having any scientific background, but he is able to give you the right medication based on his previous experience of working in the same for the same medical shop. So unlike that situation here in UK, it's all totally customer service type. So they would ask you, for example, if I go to the particular shop, as you know, when I go to the Boots pharmacy shop, I would say, yes, sir, excuse me, I want to have, I'm having bit discomfort in the form of fever or anything. They would ask me so many questions like, are you allergic to anything? what cost you this one? Did you get exposed to some cold environment, or did you happen to meet anything? So there will be a proper questionnaire which I have to follow, and then they would decide. I mean, the pharmacist would decide whether this I have to prescribe this person any medication, or will a home rest and the hot soup would suffice. That is a basic difference compared to this market here. I find Indian market is bit fast in delivering the medicines. They feel here, unless and until it is too necessary, they won't actually give you any medication. The most common medication to all forms of pain will be the paracetamol, and they don't have any brands. It's just a paracetamol, a generic drugs. That's it, and that is being manufactured by this one. And also, the pharmacist is also responsible for uh, uh, ensuring that they are using the medicines judiciously. For example, with respect to any laxatives or any sleeping pills, they would, and also for as simple as a antitussive like codeine, they would definitely recommend you that not to be used after 3 days unless and until a physician or a doctor prescribes it. So they also give you these insights that you should not be doing this, you should not be doing that, which is quite, I have also seen in many of the Indian medical shops. And but for us to enter the medical shop profession is relatively easy compared to here, because they have to clear so many examinations, they have to do internships, they have to work for the hospitals for free. Then only they can get you a proper proper license that yes, now he or she is a registered pharmacist, and it's one of the highest earning professions in here, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. One more is the 4 years B.Pharm degree, which we are studying at India, is equivalent to that means, is it okay to enter into the pharmacy profession there? Lot of people are rising.
Absolutely, why not? Yes. I would definitely encourage, and I tell. I want to raise my voice on this one, because many people back home, the students, they feel bit disappointed that they didn't get good opportunity in medicine field. That's why they happen to come to pharmaceutical industries. But apparently, this is one of the evergreen industry which always kinds of increases in the market but never decreases. So if I see outside, I can see a recession or in the redundancy for any IT people, because IT people are so many, and so not so many projects are there outside for them to act on. But when I consider a pharmaceutical field, diseases never end, and the pandemics like COVID keeps on coming. So obviously we need healthcare professionals to take care of all these things. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that this is the major or the highest achievement field, but doctors and pharmacists are equally important for the society to treat the patients, because like diseases keep on increasing, and they are. And this is a very wonderful industry, I would say, where every person, like every pharmaceutical person, should explore and enjoy it while they do it. So they can opt for example, if we are doing pharmacy education bachelor's in here, and we have very good opportunities in here to pursue an MS or integrated PhD programs as well. And mostly, as I said, education is not always important. It's all the skills what you learn through your technique is important. So many of us, like when we did the basic physical pharmacy, or in the first years or second years, where we do deal with these subjects, we don't give importance to basic things like maybe a picnometer or the specific gravity bottle or whatever it is. So sorry about that. So apparently they have a vast use when you come to actual pharmaceutical industries. So there is there is no point in actually saying that yes, you should be proud that you are studying pharmacy in a reputed colleges. So I advise all the students to go for higher education and explore new opportunities.
Thank you, ma'am. The rest of the questions I will post you. Chat box.
Oh, sure. Okay, sir.
Thank you very much for your elaborate explanation regarding the roles of ABPI, MHRA, and getting into pharmaceutical research in UK, and the different
Yes.
positions to be occupied by a fresher, and their roles and responsibilities occupied immediately entering into the profession. That means
Yes.
pharmaceutical research. What are the positions they are going to occupy in the industry? Yes,
Yes.
as you have elaborated very well. And you have also given a brief note regarding how to enter into the pharmaceutical companies and the roles and responsibility of each position as well. After entering to that, we maybe start with the bench chemist and what are the role of each position you have explained very neatly. And finally, we came up with full details regarding Brexit and Horizon 2020. Thank you very much for your elaborate explanation. I hope this helped the audience, that means the participants who are joined here, who are thinking to enter into the foreign, especially UK, in higher for their higher studies, as well as if they are faculty members who are willing to go for betterment of their qualifications like PhD and fellowships. So that might be helpful for them. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much for your valuable spending your valuable time with us. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity once again. So enjoy your rest of the evening, sir.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very
thank
much.
you.
So this,